All right, joining me at this time from Washington, D.C. is economic analyst, former advisor on business issues to President George W. Bush, Kereakos Zuras. Kereakos, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me back.
I want to talk to you about this bailout of Detroit, but before we do, you were part of, you were part of the Bush inner circle and an advisor to President George W. Bush as he was president. I want to get your reaction to something. Hillary Clinton appears to be the preordained, I say appears, the preordained candidate to represent the Democratic Party in 2016. I thought this was interesting because I'm trying to find out. I think she has a lot of warts. I really do. And the left, the mainstream media, Kereakos, is telling us that, you got to find an establishment candidate on the right that's the only chance they have of beating Hillary because she is so unbeatable. Well, there was an AP reporter named Mike Lee who recently asked Hillary Clinton's spokesperson to name one tangible accomplishment by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Let's watch this video. I'd like to get your reaction on the other side of this.
Off the top of your head, can you identify one tangible achievement that the last QDDR resulted in?
Well, Matt, obviously it's an extensive, expansive process.
So no.
We're
Right?
looking at how it was done last
Just
time.
one.
I know, I'm making an important point here.
Okay.
The Secretary wants it to be focused. It's going to focus on a more narrow range of issues. It's always to look at how we can improve things, and we'll see where we come out on the end.
So can you, off the top of your head, identify one tangible achievement that resulted from the last QDDR?
I am certain that those who were here at the time, who worked hard on that effort, could point out one.
That since you've come on board that you've noticed, that someone has said that you've noticed that you can point back to saying, wow, the first QDDR identified this as a problem and dealt with it.
Well, as you know, I've only been here since it was concluded, so I'm sure there are a range of things that were put into place that I'm not even aware of were a result.
I won't hold my breath.
Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Kereakos, that was painful to watch. This is who they on the left are saying is the chosen one. Your reaction to what you just saw?
Well, it's kind of sad because the reality of it is she has no accomplishments. She's accomplished nothing, but yet if you watch mainstream media, they make it sound like she's done all these things. She's done absolutely nothing. Here's what's going to happen. I think she is beatable. I think if she decides to run, it's not going to be an easy campaign for her. And I think she summed up her whole summary of what she's all about with that Benghazi statement. What difference does it make at this point? That 4 Americans got killed, that we were attacked on American soil, and we did nothing about it. She's going to have to defend that. That's going to be hard to do.
Yeah, and I just want to give a tip of the hat to AP reporter Mike Lee for doing what he did. I mean, whether it was Republican or a Democrat, he did what he did, and it's not easy, I would think, because the narrative and the culture in the mainstream media today is to not do what he did. And all he asked was just give me one tangible accomplishment.
Yeah. Couldn't find one.
Okay.
Because there isn't one.
All right. And there isn't. All right. So it seems like every time we turn around, there's a bailout being discussed on Detroit. I almost thought it was an old news story that was somehow in my files. What's happening here now?
I don't like it. I don't even like the talk of it. You got Rick Snyder up there now deciding he doesn't want to sell any of the assets Detroit has. Look, here's the situation. Detroit's in a big mess right now. It's been that way for a while. It's taken decades of poor leadership and management that caused this. The voters of Detroit, the leaders of Detroit, and the unions are responsible for the mess that's in. They should just be let go. I'm not a fan of bailouts. I don't like it at all. This thing has to take its course, and I don't see why the citizens of Michigan should have to pay for what the unions did and the voters of Detroit and the misguided leaders, which were Democratic, by the way, who caused this problem.
So what is the Obama administration afraid of here? Are they afraid of having are they afraid of the left having a blemish on the record of a city that goes bankrupt without federal government help? Why are they so vested in this?
Well, because he's vested in the unions. He belongs to the unions. The unions own him, and he needs to be able to do whatever they want. And this is the reason why we're in this mess. So he's a little cautious to make that move because he's going to be going against the unions. And by the way, the unions are up now screaming that, don't take our pension money, make the banks pay. How about them stepping up and paying? They're the ones that squeeze everything out of everybody and every business and all across the country and cause these problems to happen. And, they act surprised that we're out of money, we're going bankrupt, and people are losing everything. They're to blame. They need to step up. They need to put some money in the pot.
All right, as you say, unions need to step up. They have their fingerprints all over this. If you were advising President Obama, you advised President George W. Bush, if by some miracle of miracles the Obama administration brought you, what would your advice be to them on how to approach this thing, how to get the unions paying their fair share?
I would just say we're not going to support it. That's it. You got to let it go. Look, this is a very, very tricky slope we're getting on, and it's not going to end well when you bail out Detroit. There's many other cities across the country that are on the verge of bankruptcy. So what are we going to do? Bail out every city in America? Can't do it.
That's a good point.
There comes a point. There comes a point where you've spent everything. We're in debt. Over the highest debt levels ever this country's ever seen. The continuous spending, the appetite for spending, the high taxes. When is it going to end? At some point, you just have to go, you know what? You got to let it go. You got to let it take its natural course and let things sort them out for themselves, period.
Kereakos,
that's what I would say.
As you say, there are other American cities that are facing potential bankruptcy. When we look across the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and we see China having a softening economy. You talked about the record level of debt that we have. When we see China's economy softening, we have American cities, Detroit being one of them, on the verge of bankruptcy, record number of debt. How concerned are you about the interim future, the near-term to interim future, economically speaking? Should we be, as a nation, economically speaking, be deeply concerned, mildly concerned, or not concerned at all about China, who we have a great dependency on, having a softening economy?
We should be deeply concerned, but on the other side of that, they have a dependency on us too because we owe them a lot of money. Somebody could just kind of say, guess what? We're not paying you back the money. Then what? So there is a kind of a check and balance in place, but we have to be concerned because all our financial systems globally are interconnected in everything that we do. So if they're having a softening and weakening economy, we're going through all these things with potential fires that are still ready to be lit here with other countries, cities across the country that are facing possible bankruptcy. The unemployment rate, the high debt. I mean, it's ugly. We need to be concerned. Look, here's the bottom line. Less taxes, smaller government, let the free markets work, stop all these regulations, get these clowns out of office that are destroying the country. Let's take back America, do the right thing. I mean, this is really simple to fix. Get the right people in there, do the right thing. It's falling apart in front of our faces and no one's doing anything about it. Get out there, vote, get these clowns out of here, put the right people in. Look at what some of these Republican governors are doing in some of these states. They have a surplus. Look at some of the Democratic states. Look what's happening. They're bankrupt. Give me money. We need help. Really? How about the poor guys that lose their house? Who comes and helps them? Nobody. The sheriff comes, knocks the door, your stuff's out the door, and you're out the door. Nobody's bailing you out. I don't like bailouts.
Kereakos, Zuras, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.